Ollie.
Hi, thank you for having me.
All right, so today's topic is rooted in love. You ready?
I am.
I'm going to be asking you a few questions if you're all right with that.
No. Yeah,
All right, so because it's rooted in love, have you ever been in a relationship?
I have. I have.
How'd it go?
Um, it went well. I've had two relationships. One of them was a lot longer relationship. One of them was a lot shorter.
Yeah. Was it a godly relationship? Were
Um,
either of them?
so my very first relationship, I can strongly say it was not. I'm not very proud of that, but there was definitely not a lot good things happening there. My second relationship was a lot better. She wasn't a Christian though, so when we had first started talking, it was kind of harder to like get her to connect with God. But it was definitely a lot less sin involved, more of just like her not being super connected with God as I
Yeah.
was. So I would make attempts to be able to get us both closer to God, but mostly was shut down just because she didn't really believe in that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry about that. You know why they ended? Just like a topic, why they ended.
Well, my first relationship had my parents had gotten involved, and we ended up having to stop talking. My second relationship, it was like a long distance type of relationship.
Yeah.
So she had eventually just like kind of lost feelings, I guess. So
Yeah.
then we
Well, I'm
just,
sorry for that.
yeah, it's all right.
So how'd you feel in the relationship, and how'd you know it wasn't really like just godly? How'd you know it wasn't godly, and how'd you feel during it?
Yeah, I mean, how did I feel? I definitely could say that like at the time, as with a lot of sins are, like it feels great at first, but then like slowly like sitting inside that sin and sitting inside of that
Yeah.
filthiness just like eventually takes a toll on your heart.
Yeah.
And so how I felt through it, like it felt great at first, but then just as it compounded, it just felt worse and worse. I knew it wasn't a godly relationship because it didn't follow what my parents said. So
But you did go along with it.
yes, I did. It was rough, definitely. I definitely think I've learned from my mistakes now that me and my parents have like a better relationship. But it just going through the relationship, it was just a lot of disobeying my parents.
Yeah.
Did they find out? Mostly no. But like still just like having that like sitting there and just like me just like wanting to tell them,
Yeah.
and eventually having told them definitely builds that relationship with me and my parents again.
That's good. So what's a godly relationship to you?
A godly relationship to me, it's I took a note on this when I was reading my Bible once, and I think that it's the main focus is having just Christ centered in it for sure. I think it's very good because in I think 1 Corinthians or 2 Corinthians 6 it talks about being unequally yoked, and I think having a relationship where one of you isn't a believer and one of you is definitely a bad thing and ends up
So it could have been like a one-sided relationship.
yeah, and it ends up drifting you apart and there's no progress being done. Another thing is having each other build each other up to go closer to God. I can think of a relationship as a ladder, how like the ladder sits like this, right? And if one of you all have to be on like the same page going closer to God.
Yeah.
But if one of you is going this way, the other one's going to be tugged apart and you end up going farther
Yeah,
apart.
yeah.
So if one of you is going up and the other one's going down, your relationship
Yeah.
is
That's a cool way to
turning
think
apart.
about it.
Yeah. So like that's kind of one of the things I like to like put as like a symbol for it. But I guess yeah, just having a Christ-centered relationship and just having it where it's where you what's it called? Where you're building each other up
Yeah.
to get closer to God.
Okay, well, that's really cool. So you do have quite a few friends, right?
Yes.
All right. Have they been or are they in relationships?
Some of them are, some of them aren't. I think like a couple of my friends are in relationships and it's been going on for a very long time and it's been going great for them. Some are just like not like talking to a bunch of girls, but just like kind of just going with the flow of it, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
that like they're not getting like their hands dirty or anything, but it's just like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So have they been godly relationships?
Some of them have not been godly relationships. I would say some of them have, and I've talked to them about their godly relationships and ungodly relationships, and yeah.
All right. So you do know that some people try to like just hide what happens, and because they're too ashamed of it, and they try to just hide it away. What do you think about that?
I definitely think that's like a first response to any sin that you have. Like even going back to Adam and Eve, the first thing they did was hide. So I think that's the first response anyone would have with committing any sin. I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
I can definitely say, especially with like even small things with my parents, it's been easy to do like a small sin like disobeying, but then going back to them and like confessing that to them has been like a lot easier than hiding it, because it's your relationship gets torn when they have to find out rather than you giving it to them and being straight up with them, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. So I think it's not a good thing to do. I think that's definitely just a natural thing that we have as humans, but just bringing it to your parents or your partner or God is definitely a
Yeah.
good stress reliever for that.
Did you help any of your friends with their ungodly relationships?
I definitely have tried. I've had conversations with friends. Some of the conversations didn't go super well. Some of them did go well and they did accept what I was telling them. But I guess it mostly depended on what they were willing to accept.
Did you talking to them about their relationships and like the death of your guys' your friendship?
Not ever. I think they've always had an open mind about the fact that I'm trying to help, although I might see things differently. Just like knowing that I'm trying to help them and better their relationship for themselves has definitely like put their eyes in the right place instead of seeing it from a contradicting place where it's like, oh, how dare you tell me how to live my relationship?
Why would you accuse me of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of
Did you guide them with it?
guide them with what?
The relationship, like guide them, trying to help them out of the relationship.
Yeah, well, not really, because I know that like if I were to be so strict on taking them out of the relationship, that could hurt our friendship.
Yeah.
And I also think that if it doesn't work out, that can lead to an experience where they're like, okay, maybe this isn't working out. Maybe I should start doing things God's way.
All right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. You said you had 2 relationships.
Yeah.
Did someone help you get out of the first one? Guessing as your parents.
My parents helped me get out of the first one, 100%. At first, it was more, I kept seeing it as like they're just trying to take away my happiness and stuff like that. But looking back at it now, I can definitely see that they were just trying to help me in a loving way.
Yeah. How about the second one? Did you choose to escape or to get out of it, or did somebody else choose?
It wasn't really anyone else's decision besides like me and hers. When we had first gotten out of the relationship, it was definitely all of her decision, and we decided to like stay friends from that point on. So it wasn't really like anyone was like, you have to get out of this relationship. I would say that like my family has definitely said some things where it's just not telling me that it's not coming from a good place and how I could fix it. But it wasn't the reason that we split was because of someone's decision with that.
Yeah. So with your first relationship, meaning that your parents had to help you, I'm guessing it wasn't a good one.
It was not good at all.
Did your friends ever try to help you with it? Or just say like, hey, I don't think she's the right one, or this isn't good?
One of my old friends, we don't talk too much now, even though I wish we could. We've just both been busy. But we've definitely had conversations where he would tell me like, man, like this isn't lining up with God's word, like this, like what are you doing, stuff like that. So it didn't really hurt our relationship too much, but he's definitely like tried his best to help, and I really am thankful for him for that.
No, that's good. I'm happy you have those kind of friends.
Yeah.
So with all your relationships, you're saying that it was 50-50. One was godly, one wasn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't say either of them was godly. I would say that one of them was a lot worse than the other.
Yes.
And the other was more
Like,
just
it wasn't harmful at all.
Yeah.
Like, it was innocent.
yeah.
All right. Well, Do you have a friend that you feel comfortable enough to reach out to, like saying like, hey, I don't think she's the right one. Do you have any advice?
If I have a friend
Do you
that,
have a friend you feel comfortable enough saying like, hey, I don't think she's the one. Do you have any advice to help?
oh yeah, 100%, 100%. I think I've have multiple friends and even family if I ever need to that would definitely be able to help me out with that, for
All
sure.
right. Do you have any friends you feel comfortable reaching out to saying, hey, I think she's the one?
That she is the one? Yeah, I think there's more so friends that I would say she is the one than she isn't the one, if that makes sense. Because, like, I think it's easier to say, like, how great things are going rather than saying how bad things are going,
Yeah.
right?
All right. So this is going to be a tough question, okay?
Okay.
All right, so what would you do if you were in a relationship and just out of nowhere they decided to do something ungodly?
So, assuming that the relationship was going godly,
Yes.
right? So, before any of my relationships, any talking stages, anything at all, before I get into that relationship, I set standards. I make sure that both her and I know exactly what our boundaries are and different rules that we'll have in the relationship.
Yeah.
Right. So, before we even start anything, before there's even room for sin, we make sure that there's boundaries that's keeping us closer to God and towards His path for us. Right.
So you have boundaries you want to keep towards God.
Yes, 100%.
Then why would you get in the relationship that wasn't godly?
See, the relationships was very long time ago.
Yes.
So I think my mindset has definitely changed since then.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
So yeah, now I would say that before anything starts, there's a very set of rules. So answering your question though, if they were to do something ungodly out of nowhere, I would say I would definitely bring it back to the boundaries and be like, whoa, didn't we say that we weren't going to do this or we were going to do this instead of whatever it might have been?
Yeah.
So I would go back to that and then just be like, well, why
Yeah.
the switch up, right? And if it's just something that she's not like willing to cope with anymore, if she's not willing to respect my boundaries or hers even, then I don't think that's a relationship that I'm gonna be sticking on to.
Yeah. So you knew one of them wasn't a godly relationship, but why did you decide to stay in it?
Well, the main reason I decided to stay in it was because I believe I was so desperate for something that I would be able to stick my time with. I go to a charter school, so I'm not in school a lot, so I'm sitting around like doing nothing all day. So I think it was more of the fact that I was so empty and not filled with God to a point where I would just search for anything, and it just so happened to be that girl. So I think I just was blinded by my own like shame to where I couldn't see where that relationship was going, if that makes sense.
So what do you do all day? Just
What do I do now?
now what do you do?
I keep myself busy with whether it's working out or jobs.
That's cool.
I do stuff like that, just like
What do
things
you do
to
for your
get money.
jobs?
I do car detailings. I take trash out for like neighbors. I do dog walking. I do solar panel cleaning, all this different stuff. Nothing too crazy that's like going everywhere, but just like around my neighborhood.
All right, so kind of back going to where we were. In a previous relationship, you knew it wasn't godly at all, but you still decided to go along with it.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to turn a blind eye to it? Just decide like, yeah, I know it's wrong, but I'm going to decide just to keep going along with it and not do anything about it.
At the time, I wouldn't say that I would think it was wrong. Like, I knew it was wrong, but it didn't, like, really hit me that it was, like, wrong.
How old were you?
I was, like, 12, 13.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, kind of a while ago. So, I wasn't thinking too much of it. I definitely can see now how bad a relationship it was, but I don't think my younger self would, like...
Really cared that how bad it was.
It was just, like, that's what the normal was. If that makes sense. Like, I just followed off of what other people did, and I just went off of that. I didn't, like, follow anyone else's.
So you went along with what the world said was right.
Yeah.
But you didn't go along with what God said was right.
No.
What do you think about that now? Like, your decisions back then?
I think I don't think it was a good decision, obviously, but I am, in a way, glad that it happened because I wouldn't be where I am today if it didn't. I wouldn't have that same experience of how tragic and terrible it was to having lost that to where now I'm seeking God and it's amazing, right? So I definitely think like in a way I'm glad it happened because I can have that experience with me to know that God is the better way, right?
So that's pretty good, though. I'm pretty proud of you for that.
Thank you.
All right, so this has been a great episode, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so today's topic was you're in love. So what do you think about that? Think it was pretty good?
Yeah.
You're in love?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was today, and I'm very happy we did it. I think it was a good one.
Me too. Thank you again for having me.
I'm very happy to.